The three hummingbirds are among the smallest and fastest and most agile birds in the world. They weigh about as much as a penny, and they are the only birds that can fly backwards and upside down. Sheryl Caine joins us from Wild Birds Unlimited this morning to teach us about these fascinating birds and how we can attract them to our yards. Sheryl, first of all, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right, wow, they are incredible. But why the fascination with hummingbirds?
I think that people enjoy birds because they're beautiful, they add color, they add song to people's lives. People want to enjoy what's going on in their own backyards, create a refuge in their own backyards.
It's hard to believe that they're so very small.
Very tiny. Yes, it's one of the smallest birds that you can attract to your yard.
Yeah. Now, do they travel in flocks or by themselves?
Some of them do. We have a lot of species out west and in the south that do that. But here in Ohio, we only have one species of hummingbird. It's the ruby-throated hummingbird. It's the only hummingbird we have east of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
They're a little more territorial. You'll sometimes see an adult pair together, male and female, or an adult with a juvenile. But they're not a flocking bird like you see with other songbirds.
It's amazing how fast they are.
Yes, they can beat their wings 60 to 80 times per second, and they're constantly moving. I mean, they can sit. They have legs. Sometimes people think they don't have legs and they can't sit, but they can sit. I think there's a video showing that right now. They can sit there and eat. So people sometimes think they don't have legs and they can't stand, but they can. What they can't do is walk.
They can't walk?
Yeah, their legs are too weak to walk, but they can stand.
What the coloring, is that typical right there?
That right there is a male, yes. It's a ruby-throated hummingbird, an adult male. And what's interesting is he's putting his beak in to eat. A lot of people think his beak is like a straw, but it's not. It's his tongue. His tongue is double the length of his beak.
Wow.
And it goes all the way down to the bottom of that feeder to suck out the nectar.
Why the fascination with hummingbirds?
I just think that people love birds. And I think that this bird in particular is so tiny and delicate that people just really enjoy having them around.
A tremendous, I understand they can fly 600 miles.
Yeah, actually, they will cross the Gulf of Mexico in one single flight for their migration. Okay. And then they will winter in Central America and sometimes even as far south as Panama.
When's the best time to see them here in Northeast Ohio?
Well, this year we had our first sighting on April 17th. Okay. That was our first phone call where people were all excited that they were back. They will stick around through October, which is wonderful for us. So we've got all summer that we can attract them to the yard. We can do that a lot of different ways. Flowers are so important. That's what's really going to bring them to your yard. A feeder that you put out for them.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that's going to give them a reason to stay.
We're trying to attract them to our yards. Yes. You said the feeder.
Yeah, the flowers will kind of give them that visual color. Birds find food visually. They don't, smell it or sense it's there any other way. The feeder's going to give them a reason to stick around.
Okay, what do you put in there?
We're going to put sugar water in here. Just a very simple mixture of 1 part sugar to 4 parts water.
So they like the sweetness.
They do. They like the sugar. It replicates the nectar that they get from the plants. And we recommend just using white granulated table, sugar, 1 part sugar to 4 parts water. You're going to bring that to a rolling boil, and you're going to refrigerate it. Boiling it is going to slow down the fermentation process, make it last longer outside. Don't add any food coloring, please. It's not good for them. No artificial sweeteners. You want to use just regular sugar. You can store it in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks once you get it mixed up.
Now, what's this right here?
That's packaged nectar. So for people who don't keep sugar in the house and they want to have a packaged nectar, that's an instant nectar you just add hot water to. And if you buy a commercial nectar or a packaged nectar, make sure it does not have any added food color.
So now how much do you put in there? Fill it up?
This one is about an 8-ounce feeder, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is for a bird that small to drink. Something bigger like this would be about 16 ounces. And that's plenty to put out because sugar water, when it's out in the sun, especially if summer shows up here in Cleveland at some point.
So they're all over Northeast Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
And if you put out this, there's a good chance that you may attract some.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and you want to change that sugar water every couple days, so that's why we don't put out so much at a time.
Wow, fascinating. Absolutely incredible show. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank for having me.
Giving us a quick hummingbird lesson.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, and if people, if your viewers stop in any Wild Birds Unlimited store, they can pick up a free poster on hummingbirds and a free brush.